The most common findings I have with my clients is that they have pain during chest pressing, whether that be the barbell, the dumbbells, whatever it might be. One of the worst things that we do as personal trainers and even physical therapists is always jump to a corrective exercise, a breathing drill, and we take away the strength exercises and even more importantly, the exercises that they love to do. Instead of giving people less things to do, we should try to find modifications that allow them to do the things that they love and especially to continue getting stronger while we may work on those deficits in other ways. So a really common thing that happens during the chest pressing that I see, a specific example would be someone pressing and it looks like their rib cage is turned right. They're shifted right, or even more so and all, their right arm doesn't reach all the way, but their left does. So a couple of things that could be going on there, or like I said, maybe all of these things together. We might have really compressed back left ribs. Imagine I smushed you and pushed you from the back left. What would I do? I would push myself forward and to the right. We might also have a lack of right chest wall expansion. So if I smush these ribs down, that's also going to turn me right. And then we might also have a capsule issue where the right shoulder doesn't have internal rotation, which is also almost always going to come with that right chest not expanding well or those right lateral ribs not expanding well. So like I said, the first thing that we want to do is don't do it. Do a bunch of cars, do the sleeper stretch, do these right chest wall expansion drills. What modifications can we make to the actual exercise so that they can continue to do them while we work on those deficits? So the first one is going to be with the towel. Let's get into that. The first thing that I'll often do is I'll take a towel or something and put it right under those back left ribs, just like I would with a foot, putting a sock under the midfoot to bring up for pronation. So she's going to go ahead and lay all the way back, and it's just going to be as simple as that. So now go ahead and do some pressing. And what we want to be able to see, she didn't really have this issue anyway, so just press normal. We want to be able to see that they start to get the dumbbell even on both sides, and we should see that her sternum looks relatively squared up to the ceiling the whole time. What this is going to do is going to equal out that chest stretch, which is what's going to actually get you the growth anyway. And what we're doing with the towel is simply bringing the floor up to their brain. So their back ribs go, oh, I've been leaving here. I have this new towel right here. I need to stay down. If you stay on the towel, you turn left, you stay back, and now we're getting so much more of the exercise by not changing it, not cueing anything, just saying, here's the towel on your back. So that's the first thing that I'm going to go ahead and do in this situation. The next option that works really well is simply taking away some of the ROM. So go ahead and go back. And what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to say, don't go past your ribs. So press all the way up. And then as you come down, you're just going to go ahead and stop a little bit early. So right about there, and then back up. While we increase their shoulder mobility and improve their rib cage and all these other things, just have them stop their range of motion a little bit early where it's pain-free, it's safe, and they can still gain strength. We know from doing strength training that if you're creeping up on those edges of where you can't go and staying within them, you're probably going to increase range of motion anyway just by getting more exposure just outside of that space. So the second one with everything is just reduce the ROM, keep the exercise. The next solution that I use is to have them lay all the way back. In this circumstance, it's going to be the right arm reaching, and for most times it will be. She's going to press this right arm all the way up. This is maybe something we're going to do for 5 breaths before their first set. I'll take her left hand, I'll put it on her left ribs. And all I want her to do is on each inhale, she's going to focus on reaching this right arm even further. On each exhale, she's going to focus on bringing this left rib down. Good. Inhale again, reach up. Exhale, get that rib down. And I can even cue her, even though it should be happening anyway, when we reach this right arm up to the ceiling, it should help turn us left a little bit at the ribs, and her left side should be heavier. And I can even say, do you feel your left side heavier? Good. And we're not shrugging, just a little bit less shrug right there. Good. So, and remember, this is more up than over. It doesn't have to be a big chest. It can just be straight up. So I'm just going to get 5 breaths here and then maybe go right back to the double chest press and see how that feels. And if it feels good and this worked, I can just have them do this easily before each set or before the first set every time they do this for a few weeks. And solution with 5 breaths involved, doesn't take a lot of time, relatively simple. The next solution that we're going to do is hook line. So go ahead and lay all the way back. Put your feet on the bench, all the way on the seat. There you go. I can put something in between her knees, or I don't even need to, but this can be helpful. I'm going to cue her to press her feet into the bench, and I'm going to cue her to do a slight tuck so that her boxer tag or Lululemon symbol is heavy, and now go through the bench. Just do like 3 reps. So by doing this and getting a little bit less extension through the whole entire spine and system, it should be a lot easier to keep a better relationship at the rib cage, and this might instantly improve the bench and make it feel better. Super easy, another really, really easy way to do it. And if you know someone's limited, you might even want to just start them off with 3 weeks of hook lying chest press anyway, just to get ahead of it and have them feel good after it, especially if there's someone who's not going to do a form check or you're not working with them one-on-one in person. You know that, hey, so way less chance of something going wrong when they're in this position, as it puts us in a better position overall. Good. Next solution that we're going to do is an alternating press. So you're going to lay all the way back. You're going to put those feet on the bench. You're going to put this here. So now we're still in that same hook lying position. Press down, gentle tuck. And what she's going to do is she's going to reach the right arm all the way up, and then she's going to bring the left arm down. So you can see how this should turn her ribs left, put her on that left side. Now press that all the way back up. Now bring the right down, and then bring it up. And just do 2 more reps on each side. So we're alternating now, and we want her rib cage to turn. We want it to feel like it's shifting. Whatever side's going down should be heavier on the bench. And we're basically getting a little bit of alternating movement in a movement that's traditionally done very stiff, very bilateral. Like we said with hook lying and maybe just doing that for the first 3 weeks just to be super safe or even just check a box. You can totally do alternating, and maybe if you're doing 2 days a week of upper body strength, 1 day is alternating, 1 day isn't. So that way we're still getting a little bit of rib cage motion so that we don't lose it and start turning like a refrigerator. All right, let's do a quick summary. So we established that the client we're working with is having pain during chest press. When you look at it from that bird's eye view of their head, it looks like they're turned in one direction, and this one specifically turned right. They're also unable to get their right arm to fully reach up to the ceiling. So the first strategy that we just did was to get them to sense their back left ribs a little bit more. We put a towel back there, and that should have taken that person from sitting on the bench like this to saying, oh, now I have the floor, aka the towel, brought up to my back ribs and my brain. So now I'm just going to be able to get a little bit heavier and settle in a more neutral position. Then we talked about maybe starting off with a reach on the right side. So having that right arm reach. If they're looking like this and we take this right arm and we reach it, it's going to start them off turn left. A couple of breaths in this position should bias the back left ribs and the front right. And that should also make it a lot easier to do the shoulder press after that. We also discussed reducing range of motion, simple as can be. It hurts when you go all the way back there. Don't go as far. Just go to the side of your body and you're good to go. After that, we discussed maybe doing a hook lying press with the feet on the bench. What that's going to do is going to tip the rib cage back a little bit. So instead of being really extended because we have hip extension down here with our feet on the bench and we're trying to arch, if we take our feet up, it's going to go ahead and get us to round out those ribs a little bit, which in theory should help the relationship of your shoulder blade on your rib cage. And then lastly, we also talked about doing the alternating press. So if this person's like this, but we do a press that every other press he has to turn this way, or they have to turn this way, and we keep that going. Now, instead of trying to be stuck here, we're just getting this person to alternate and shift. So they're heavy on the left, heavy on the right, heavy on the left, heavy on the right. And then last but not least, something that we didn't go over just to be able to show it. A lot of people are going to also benefit from just getting in a machine. Maybe they're bad on the bench face up, but when they sit in the machine, that they have a hammer strength, something like that, especially because most of them reduce the range of motion anyway for you. If they can do that pain-free and continue getting stronger as you work on their deficiencies, that is a huge win. So in conclusion, try not to immediately take away strength exercises. Definitely don't lead with any fear, but find a helpful modification so that they can continue strength training while you maybe program something that's going to bring up those deficits so that they can return to doing anything they possibly want, pain-free and chasing their goals. If you have any questions about that, please let me know.